I've used Xanax, Klonopin, Molly, acid, ecstasy, fentanyl, oxycodone.
Esty Cohen was only 14 when she first started using drugs.
I was really bullied in school. I didn't know how to deal with it. I had a lot of depression and anxiety, so I decided to go to weed and opiates and Xanax and a lot of all those type of stuff.
In the Orthodox Jewish community of Lakewood, New Jersey, where Cohen grew up, she says it wasn't difficult to get her hands on pills.
I went out and I asked my friends, I'm like, do you know any meds that could help me with my anxiety? Like, the doctors don't want to give me. They're like, here, try it.
Cohen comes from a strict religious upbringing. She says when she was 16, her parents gave her an ultimatum.
They told me, they were like, you could get clean or we will help you, or you could get out, one or the other. And I told them, I was like, I'm not ready. So they said, okay, you gotta go.
2 years later, Cohen finally realized it was time to get help after a close friend's mother overdosed on opioids.
Knowing that my family could find me dead in my room did not sit well with me. Like, it gave me like this, it put like something in my heart that like just dropped, and I was just like, I need to get help.
What they found was behavioral Crossroads recovery in Turnersville, New Jersey, which bills itself as the only inpatient kosher rehab in the Northeast.
We cater to the needs of the religious community, the Jewish religious community. We have Jewish clinicians on staff, we have a rabbi on staff, and we're kosher. So we understand the needs of the community.
It's not just the kosher food that makes this a kosher-style rehab. On top of that, men and women are housed separately, and they make accommodations for anyone who wants to observe Shabbat.
Rabbi Avi Richler is the head of religious services at Behavioral Crossroads.
It's kept under wraps in the Jewish community, and specifically in the Orthodox community. We have a concept of, for better or for worse, that the community sort of hides the fact of, is afraid to talk about addiction.
Whether or not people in this community want to talk about addiction, it is a serious issue. We first highlighted the toll opioids are taking on the Orthodox Jewish community last year.
I mean, it pulled the rug from out of us altogether because it was so unexpected.
And Rabbi Richler says the problem remains at crisis level.
The definition of crisis is something getting worse, not better. And all we've seen is it getting worse and worse, more and more deaths. So until we can reverse the trend where the numbers are shrinking, we're going to remain in a crisis in our community.
Acknowledging the problem is the first step. Finding help is the next, and sometimes there is even stigma around that.
The door to mental health opened up a few years ago in the Jewish community, and I would say with addiction, we're still dealing with a window. The window's open. People are willing to hear, but they're still keeping it very private.
Dina Lefkowitz is the clinical supervisor at Behavioral Crossroads, where 90% of current clients come from an Orthodox background and are often somewhat sheltered from the outside world.
It's bad enough my kid is doing drugs. It's bad enough my spouse is doing drugs. Now I'm exposing them to all elements of the world. So, we try to curb that as much as we can and give them an environment that they're used to and that they're comfortable with.
But addiction experts say kosher doesn't necessarily mean more effective, and it can also be very costly. Affording treatment is another issue. Behavioral Crossroads is out of network, but Lefkowitz says because they're one of very few places to make kosher accommodations, some insurance companies will make exceptions. Whether it's here or at another facility, Rabbi Richler says his goal is to get help to the growing number of people struggling with addiction.
I'm not here from a business angle. I'm here because I genuinely want to help people get better. We're talking about human lives. Human lives are so important, and everyone is worth saving.
And Esty Cohen says the most important factor in recovering from drug addiction is to want to get better.
That's what I kept repeating over and over and over. Do it for yourself, do it for yourself, don't do it for anyone else.
Stacey Delacat, Fox 5 News.